Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk about something that's quite sensitive really. It's why I love being a small Samoan. So, tell you this story first. There's these two brothers, twin brothers, never knew each other growing up, and they met when they were in their early 30s. Now the first brother had become a highly successful entrepreneur. He built up this multi-million-dollar business and he was really killing it in life. The second brother was a bum. He lived on the streets, spent all his money getting high, and really had just a pretty mediocre life. Here's what they had in common. Besides being brothers, they both came from an emotionally abusive family. Their father was an alcoholic, and their father, all he did was drink and beat his wife, and he really wasn't a model father in any way to these two boys. And they both grew up and ended up completely different, with totally different lives. How is this possible? You ask either one of those brothers, this is a legit thing that happened, by the way. Both the brothers were asked why they ended up the way they did. And the first brother, who was highly successful, success isn't just about building a multi-million-dollar business. I'm not suggesting that. It's just an example. Get that out of your head. First brother said, how could I possibly have ended up any other way? I came from this abusive family. I never wanted to be like my father. It was horrible. I was determined to change myself and make a difference. And they asked the second brother the same question. The second brother says, "G'day, Corbin." That's not what the brother said. Second brother said, how could it possibly be any different? This is the way it ended up. I came from an abusive, traumatic childhood, horrible family. My father was an alcoholic. How could I have possibly ended up as anything else but a bum on the street? Wow, that is so powerful. For me, that story, that smashed me. Because what it says to me is that there is never an excuse to be mediocre in this life. There's never an excuse. Some of the most disadvantaged people you could possibly imagine have risen out of these horrible situations and created incredible lives for themselves. Lives that might not be incredible in our eyes by our standards, but they've reached a level of inner peace and happiness and contentment more than we can imagine. And what that says to me is that your life, the way you experience your life, is all about your frame. It's all about the frame through which you view your life, through which you view your reality. See, for me, when I was growing up, I used to be really insecure about being a small Samoan. People laughing at me right now as I say it. I was I am about a 73 kilogram Samoan dude, when everyone knows Samoans are meant to be big guys, big people. They are. Look at them. Look at rugby teams full of Samoans, and they're massive. That's why they got the Samoans on their side, because they just crush people. They just steamroll people. And growing up for me, I was like, why am I not big? Why am I not big like all of those other Samoan people? My cousins, my little brother's 20 kilos heavier than me. And that really used to get me. It got to a point though where I realized I can't change this. I spent 18 months trying to beef up. I ate so much food, it's disgusting. So much protein, eggs, meat, carbs, you name it. I was loading that shit, pumping the bench press every day, doing all the right things to get bigger, but it wasn't happening for me. So it got to the point where I was like, all right, I'm going to have to accept this. And not only did I accept it, took me some time, I got there eventually, I celebrated it. I learned to love being the size that I am, because in comparison to some people, I'm massive. That's cool. And I want to say the same thing to you. If it's not just about your body. You might be a large person, and you might be really insecure about that. That might really make you feel horrible. How can you reframe that? How can you make that amazing? How can you look at some people and you're like, everyone loves them, and you look at them and take some dudes you see, for example, and they're these big, massive dudes, and let's admit it, they're pretty fat, and all these people just love them. And it's like, okay, people love them because they're big, happy, friendly, jolly-looking people. That's just a reframe. It's just a change of lens. Doesn't matter what problem you've got, physical, intellectual. How can you reframe that to make it an asset, not a liability? How can you celebrate it? Ask yourself that question, because there's always a way that you can celebrate what could be perceived as a disadvantage and use it to your advantage. For me, being small, I can do backflips. How many of you can do a backflip? I can do sick cartwheels. I can climb trees faster than anyone you know. All right, I'm agile and I love that. Quick. That's just me. Some of the things I've learned to celebrate. What is it for you? Take those things that hold you back, reframe them, look at other people with a similar issue who are having the time of their life, and do the same thing for yourself. All right? That's just some more life advice from Ben. Hope you enjoyed that. Celebrate. Celebrate everything. Life's a celebration. Goodbye.